Hey everybody, JTISREBORN here, and welcome to another edition of my Batman the Animated Series reviews. This time we're going to be taking a look at episode number 18, Beware the Gray Ghost. Okay, this one is a special episode for me because not only do we have Kevin Conroy as Batman, the voice of Batman, we have a character by the name of Simon Trent / the Gray Ghost, and he's voiced by Adam West, or I should say, played by Adam West in this. I mean, they're voicing it obviously, but you know what I mean. Adam West is doing the acting job in this role, and this is one of the top 10 best episodes the show's ever produced. I'm throwing that out there right now. This one for sure is in a top 10 favorites of mine. I love it. I love it. The storytelling in it, the way it kind of mirrors the career of Adam West. And, rest in peace, Adam West, by the way. Adam West was such a nice, kind soul. I did have the privilege of meeting him once at a Comic-Con once, and he was a very nice, kind, generous man. And it really sucks that he's gone, but he left a legacy for all fans to enjoy. And Adam West, we have the Dark Knight. He was like the Light Knight, the White Knight or whatever. He was the Bright Knight. That's what it was, the Bright Knight. And Adam West is great. And in this episode, it's great. If he wasn't in the role, this would still be a really good episode, but because it's Adam West, it really elevates this episode to top 10 status because, the episode mirrors kind of his history where this guy by the name of Simon Trent, he was an actor famous for playing the Gray Ghost on a TV show, and after the show was over, he couldn't really get any acting roles, despite the fact that he can act, but everyone only saw him as the Gray Ghost, and nobody would cast him as anything other than the Gray Ghost. So he struggled for years afterwards, he still would get royalties from things, but he wasn't making any ends meet. And Simon Trent, as we can see in this episode, he's struggling, he's running out of money, so he has to sell his Gray Ghost merchandise to some guy by the name of, this toy guy or whatever, who, as we find out later in the episode, his name's Ted Dimer, by the way, is the villain, and he's voiced by Bruce Timm, but we'll get to that in a second. So anyways, there's also this Mad Bomber coming on, blowing stuff up for money. He's just like, pay me my money, otherwise I'm going to keep blowing stuff up. And it mirrors the plot of an episode of The Gray Ghost, and that's where Bruce Wayne, remembers from his childhood. There are flashbacks in this episode to Bruce Wayne as a kid, and the Gray Ghost was his hero. Much like how kids look up to Batman today, or they looked up to the Batman in the 60s TV show and watched it when they were growing up and are adults. That was the Gray Ghost was that to Bruce Wayne, and he absolutely loved it, loved the show. And in fact, he mirrored a lot of the Batcave. The Batcave design and all that, a lot of that is mirrored from the Gray Ghost, his lair. You know what I mean? Just what the Gray Ghost had to what he has. Batman was inspired by it, and that's ultimately what he did. He created the Batcave, and it's inspired by that. But yeah, so that's in essence what it is. So, Batman reminds it. It remembers what happened in the episode of the Mad Bomber. Not all the details, but he remembered, oh, I remember that from an episode of The Gray Ghost. So he goes and tracks down a copy of the show, but nobody has it. And then he eventually tracks down Simon Trent, who's just like, I'm not the Gray Ghost, buddy. You just leave me alone. And then he loans him the copy. So Batman, in essence, afterwards, after he finds out that, Simon Trent's like, I'm not this, and he seems kind of disappointed because the Gray Ghost was a hero to him. And then, eventually Simon Trent comes along and starts helping him out, and he's in the Gray Ghost costume. And then he saves Batman at one point. He's like, hey, Gray Ghost, I could use your help with this. And the fact that Batman is fanboying out here is what makes this episode really funny, because this is like a dream come true for young Bruce Wayne. He's like, I'm teaming up with the Gray Ghost. That would be like me teaming up with Batman. It's like, oh my god, I am teaming up with Batman. I can't believe it. The Batman, motherfucking Batman. I'm teaming up with him, and it's great. And just seeing Batman kind of fanboy, and just the idea of these two Batman, working, two different Batmans working together, like Kevin Conroy and Adam West. This episode is the double dosage of Batman, and it's great, and it's really special. I love the flashback scenes with Bruce as a kid. Kevin Conroy also voices Thomas Wayne. He's like, hello there, sonny boy. And I kind of snicker a bit at his voice because it's really, it's excessively deep. but it makes it more entertaining for me. Gordon and all that are Gordon's in the episode too, and so is Alfred, but like they're not necessarily a huge factor into it. Same with Summer Gleason. Um, but Adam West is great in this episode. Eventually, they like Batman takes this little toy or whatever that has like the bombs on it. Like he tracks down like fingerprints and that. He goes on a team up adventure with the Gray Ghost back to the Batcave, and well, blindfolding him, of course. He finds fingerprints on there, and he's just like, these are your fingerprints. What do you mean? What's going on with this? And he's like, no, I didn't. I sold that to pay my rent to this slime ball, this like this toy guy. And he's voiced named Ted Dimer, and he's voiced by Bruce Timm, and he's like apparently like from what I read about this, he was voiced by Bruce Timm, but like he's visually based on voiced by Bruce Timm, and then he also kind of resembles a bit of Paul Dini. And Bruce Timm is the voice, and like when he's talking, it's really funny. Like he's just like Batman's like, time to put your toys away, young man, and he's like, I can't, I need the money to buy more toys. I love toys. They can play songs, they can dance, they can even eat money. Oh boy, can they eat money. All my money. Then I remembered an episode of The Gray Ghost, and I knew that what else that toy can do. It can carry a bomb. It can hold a city ransom. Oh, the power of the toy. It can earn millions for the little old toy collector. And and he just play with toys. It's almost like a little, like, it's like a, if you see the movie Step Brothers, you know how like immature Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly are in that movie. It's in essence like this little whiny kid, and like the way he's designed in that, like he's like, I've got the toys. I'm gonna stop you, Batman. The little old toy collector like me. Eventually, he gets his ass kicked, and the Gray Ghost and Batman team up and take him down. And then all of a sudden, like, Ted's building blows up, and then he goes to jail. All his toys are destroyed, so basically his whole life is done. Trent Hale is kind of a hero, and basically his career is restarted a bit, because of the release of the show coming to home video, and he's hailed as a hero. Then the final scene is like he's in the Gray Ghost thing. Everyone's looking back up to him again. His career's back on track with the home video release of the Gray Ghost thing, because he was the only one who had copies of all the episodes. And then the final part of the episode involves Bruce Wayne. He hands him something to sign. He's like, oh, make it out to Bruce. And then he's like, oh yeah, sure thing, Bruce. And then he's like, as a kid, I used to watch you with my father. The Gray Ghost was my hero. And then Gray Ghost is like, really? And Bruce is like, and he still is. And it mirrors something that Batman said to him earlier in the episode. So at that point, Simon Trent realizes, oh, that's Batman. He doesn't say anything out of respect in that, but it is rather cool to see Batman look up to someone. And I'm kind of upset that we don't really see another episode of the Gray Ghost. I think he appears in the epilogue of Justice League, if I remember Bruce watching him on the TV. But we never got another full-blown crossover episode. I mean, you don't necessarily have to do that because the story kind of is wrapped up here, but I actually would have loved to have seen Adam West appear at least one more time, because him on the show was fantastic, and this is just a great episode, like one of my all-time favorites for sure. Animation's great. The flashback scenes are spectacular. The storyline, how it mirrors Adam West's own personal life. And it's just a standalone episode. This is one of the most entertaining that's in the show, because a lot of, like, you know what I mean? Whereas like, just no plot lines are picked up later on, or no real recurring characters going on. Like, I mean, we have plenty of like Joker episodes. We have plenty of Catwoman episodes. We only have one Gray Ghost episode. So just like a complete, story wrap up. We never see them again. This is one of the best, if not the best, solo episodes, and I'm very happy to have rewatched it, because I rewatched like 7 or 8 episodes at the time of recording all these, and this is the one like I just sat through and rewatched. Like, the ones I just sat through, this is the most entertaining of the bunch, and it's one it just puts a smile on your face watching. Haven't seen it in a while, and just Adam West is just, God, is Adam West great in this show. God, I miss Adam West. He was a fantastic actor and a fantastic Batman. Batman 66 is an incredible show. So, anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Oh, I also want to give a special shout out to someone on YouTube. This is a shout out goes to Andy Canode, who's also doing these reviews on Batman the Animated Series. But he was uploading his videos on the 25th anniversary of the episode's original air date. So he's reviewing them in a completely different order than me, and on the original air date, and he's putting more effort into them too. So like he's got like clips from the show and all that into it. I'm doing these all unscripted, and I'm not going to be doing written reviews for each episode. I'm going to go ahead and just do a written review of the whole series once I go through and rewatch every episode and write my thoughts. That just do an overall review of the show. But go ahead and check out his channel. Be sure to subscribe and watch his videos because they're actually really entertaining. And he gave me a shout out in one of them. So shout out to you if you're listening to this one, Andy. Good work on your stuff. So anyways, not much else I can say. Love this episode. Love Adam West. This is incredible. So thank you for watching, everybody. And I'll see you next time. The next episode we're going to take a look at is episode 19, which is known as Prophecy of Doom. Okay, I got a lot to say about that one, especially the bad guy. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one.